Hi, my name is Mark Friedman here at Friedman Dentistry. When my son Matt Friedman and I were designing this office, we knew we needed a lab. One of the main features of a commercial lab is a suction system. And one of the things you find out quickly in dentistry is if you don't have good suction, the place becomes a mess because particles of dust and acrylic and air abrasion compound and all the things that stone particles go everywhere, and your office is pretty soon just a dusty mess. And Vanaman has an excellent commercial system, but it's small enough and compact enough and affordable enough that you can have it in your regular dental office. So when we designed it, we actually designed 4 stations for suction. One at the lathe, which is always a mess. If you don't have enough suction when you're polishing acrylic, or when you're polishing a denture, polishing a provisional, or grinding on a model, when you don't have enough suction, everything is a mess. And then of course where we're sitting down and we're trimming a die, or we're trimming a provisional, or we're modifying something in acrylic, or even adjusting a night guard or some sort of an acrylic appliance, it's great to have those particles get drawn away into a suction system rather than all over your face and all over the room. And Vaniman, manufacturers of management systems for air quality in laboratories and suction systems, they really had an answer. We've always used their Sandstorm air abrasion box, and so that has suction to it. And then we have 2 other sit-down stations with suction, and then we have suction at the lathe. And to be able to control those different areas and not have suction where you didn't need it, they even have a pneumatic system to turn the suction off. So one of the things that was really handy that we came up with on our own is these little wireless remote buttons. Basically, you can buy them at Home Depot for turning on your landscape lighting. And what they are is nothing more than wireless remotes that activate an AC outlet. So we have 2 suction systems so that we can get maximum suction. If we turn one on, one of the suction pumps goes on. But if we really need a lot of suction, we can turn the second one on. Suction attached to the lathe so that when we're polishing a provisional using pumice, grinding on acrylic on our lathe, then we can vacuum that all into the suction system so it doesn't go all over the office again. And what you're seeing here is just an air line to the bladder system. So here again I have another pair of remotes. I'll go ahead and turn on the suction, and then I'll open the bladder with a simple air switch, and you'll hear the suction start. Okay, so what happened was the bladder opened, and now I have suction. Downdraft portion of the Vanaman system is a really nice stainless steel counter that we can work on, and it's a downdraft, so there's no drawer to pull out. So you get suction down. Again, I'm going to push the remote to go ahead and start the suction. So now the suction is working. I haven't turned on the bladder in this station. Turning on the bladder gives me down suction in this area. So there's a downdraft. If I want additional suction, if I'm working in an area where I'm going to really kick up a lot of particles like with acrylic, we then have the snorkel attached as well. And it has a little slide that when I open it, I get suction. If I want to close it, I don't get suction. We've only got 1 suction system on. Let's go ahead and turn the second one on. Now you can see that I have a lot more suction here. So this is perfect when you're working in that area because you can decide whether you want downdraft suction or whether you want a very specific laser directed suction, usually if you're doing acrylic. So the acrylic will kick up into the little area here in the funnel, and you'll have most of the debris contained right here in this area. You can also put on a deflection shield, which will reduce splatter even further, and just drop it in, and you can work behind that as well, so that anything that comes off your handpiece will hit the deflection shield and drop back down into the suction. This little suction compartment can be removed with a couple of screws to clean it. It's also lined with some foam rubber, which reduces a lot of the sound as well. So this is just a wonderful system because we've got the impervious surface of stainless steel to work on. and yet we don't have a drawer to pull out and everything is right here. You can work nice and tight, whether you're on a microscope or you're just working with regular magnification, and everything's contained in this area.